What's going on, family? Am I the only person that feels like this is what Belle from Beauty and the Beast would have looked like if she would have robbed a liquor store before she went to the ball where the Beast was at? You know, tale is all this time. Anyway, super side note, family, let's get right into this video about how I knew I was healing my severe dismissive avoidant attachment style. But first, welcome and welcome back to my channel, family. This is Dismissible Me, where I speak only about dismissive avoidant attachment from the perspective of somebody who has had a severe dismissive avoidant attachment style. So please join the journey, like, share, and subscribe. Find me on Instagram. Let me know where you are watching from. Drop any questions you would like to see me expand on in a future video or respond to in the comment section. And family, let's get right into it. Again, how I knew I was healing my dismissive avoidant attachment style. The number one thing that was an indicator that I knew I was growing, becoming better, that I was not struggling in the same way that I was previously, was my improved communication skills. And if you are a loyal subscriber over here on this channel, you already know, as I'm getting all exposed here, you already know how I talk about my communication skills, like how my communication skills was the number one thing that really changed the game for me. Like being just, even before attachment theory, even before realizing that I wasn't a secure person, I actually had a problem. The fact that I would openly communicate, here are my flaws, this is my thing, this is what I won't do, and being very upfront about that and letting people decide right out of the gate whether or not they wanted to deal with my behavior or not, was a game changer. Communicating openly and clearly about my feelings and boundaries, my needs, being able to communicate about my boundaries without completely shutting down or shutting my partner or my family out. That was a major thing. I'll get into being able to take criticism a little bit later, but my improved communication skills, especially when it comes to expressing myself and my needs, expressing my feelings. Communication also has to do with comprehension, so listening to the other person and actually hearing what they're saying, not the scary things that I was feeling, like actually processing the information. The second thing that I noticed that I was healing, that I was becoming better, that I was not struggling in the same way with some of the typical behaviors or deactivating behaviors of people with a dismissive avoidant attachment style, was my flexibility in relationships, my willingness and ability to compromise, to meet someone halfway, to empathize with their situation, to allow myself to self-reflect about what I'm doing and how it's contributing to the problems or the well-being or the building of the relationship, acknowledging the things that I am doing wrong and being able to take ownership of those things, right? So the flexibility, understanding that I also have to give if I'm going to take, but also understanding that if I am giving, I am also, if I am giving, then I also expect and I demand for somebody to also meet me halfway. That is a thing, because this is, goes both ways. No relationship is one-sided. So flexibility in relationships and improved communication skills. The third thing that I noticed about myself, that I was healing my dismissive avoidant attachment style, was consistency in my actions and my words. So one thing that I struggle with, and I did a video on this, I think a couple of weeks ago, about making promises that I couldn't keep because I was insecure about, hurting people's feelings, or I was trying to put myself in really uncomfortable situations to try to make other people happy. There's none of that. Once I became more secure in myself, once I was more comfortable communicating and expressing my needs and doing it in a positive and productive way, and not a way that was very critical or that was in a way that was offensive to others or detrimental to the relationship, being reliable, right? I do not commit to things that I know I'm not going to follow through on. I do not commit to things that I know make me uncomfortable and I'm going to be dreading it, or I'm going to feel like I disrespected myself or did not honor myself. I dishonored myself by participating in that thing and not holding my boundaries, right? I make sure that I show up for my partners. I make sure that I show up for my friends. I make sure that I show up for people in the way that I want them to show up for me, but in a way that allows them to trust me. Once I was more comfortable with other people depending on me, I knew that things were changing for me, because I don't like, even still to this day, I really don't like people to depend on me unless I've given you the green light that you should depend on me. It's just a thing. Like, I don't want to feel I don't ever want to feel responsible for what somebody else has going on. And there are people that are takers that just don't have boundaries. So, improve communication skills, flexibility in relationships, consistency, in my actions and my words. I keep looking down because my handy dandy Blues Clues notebook is down here. Number 4 is increased awareness and regulation of my emotions. Okay, understanding what I was feeling, actually giving myself the time and the space to assess what I am feeling, to assess what I am feeling and why I am feeling that way. Am I feeling that way because these things are actually taking place, or is this, my fear, being triggered and put into overdrive? Being able to talk myself off of the ledge, finding ways that worked for me, to, again, assess and regulate my emotions and express them, express myself, express my needs in ways that are constructive and positive, and acknowledging my feelings and managing my reactions. And I say reactions, but I really mean responses. I'm a person that likes to really, really think, even at my worst. I felt like I thought about things and then I made a move, but there definitely were times where I would react. Managing my reactions and my responses is a big thing. Instead of just flying off the handle or instantly pulling away or instantly withdrawing or just blocking this person, stopping and thinking and really assessing things, considering the consequences before making that move. The 5th thing on my list, and this is when I really knew that I was growing, was the openness to feedback, right? And seeing it as a growth thing and not as a criticism, not seeing it as a personal attack, not seeing it as somebody trying to take me down. It wasn't that serious. And especially when I became more secure, it also was a thing of who is coming with this criticism? Do they even matter to me? Are they even important enough? Especially me being open to receiving negative or critical feedback about myself. As long as it is constructive, I'm willing to take it. I'm willing to accept it. I'm willing to think about it and figure out how I can improve. Because if that is an area that I feel like I need to improve in, like I can see, like, oh yeah, I'm definitely struggling with that area, I can acknowledge it. And it makes sense to me, because nobody can tell me about me better than I can. That being in a place where not only I'm self-reflecting, but I'm allowing other people to tell me what they think and not feeling like they're out to get me was a major thing. Being in a space where I could allow somebody that I care about deeply and I'm very sensitive about, or I'm sensitive about how they feel about me, to tell me negative things about myself or their negative experiences with me, and not take it personally to the point where I couldn't get over or get past or work through or repair the situation. That was a major thing. Like, okay, I can hear this. They may or may be right or wrong. And if they're right, I need to make these improvements and working towards it. And if they're wrong, let me explain to them where I'm coming from so we can get on the same page as to what the problem really is. Maybe it's a miscommunication, so that we can move forward. The 6th thing is greater accountability for my actions. And I kind of spoke on this earlier, but taking accountability for the things that I'm doing, right but wrong, especially recognizing the part that I play, especially in the downfall of my relationships, as I have mentioned in a previous video. Taking responsibility for my behaviors that contribute to the breakdown of the relationship, to the behaviors that I engage in that are detrimental to being considerate of the other person's feelings and emotions. Being willing to apologize when needed, right? So not just acknowledging when I'm on, but apologizing and being willing to put in the effort to repair, the damage that I have done, again, acknowledging the behavior and wanting to do right, make improvements. Because here's the thing, even if somebody can't meet you 100% of the way, people that care about you, if they want to, they will make a solid attempt to meet you as close to halfway. They'll meet you halfway. It may take some time, but they'll meet you there. So please, if they want to, they will. Taking responsibility for my behaviors and the impact they have on others. Willing to apologize. Got that out of the way. Okay, next page. Moving right along. Oh yeah, definitely moving right along. Okay, sorry, family. Number 7. The 7th thing that I noticed when I knew I was healing my severe dismissive avoidant attachment was actively being involved in the conflict resolution process. Actually, not just complaining about a situation and feeling sorry for myself and having a pity party, but actively being involved and trying to get to the bottom of a situation, trying to resolve a situation, trying to repair, fix, get things back on track without withdrawing, without acting a fool, without stonewalling, without flaw finding and going back and forth and talking about you. Just being able to acknowledge my part in things and get right into the, okay, how do we fix it? Like wanting to actually fix it as opposed to just walking away and washing my hands of this person. They weren't willing to, respect my boundaries. They weren't going to meet me all the way there. So, actively wanting to meet in the middle, have a real conversation, talk about real solutions, find a solution, and get to the other side of the problem. Playing an active part in that instead of just giving up, major green flag that things are moving in the right direction. And the last thing that I have on my list here is developing that secure sense of self. And I've kind of mentioned that throughout this entire thing. Knowing my own worth and then standing on it. Understanding that my needs are very important, just as important as the other person's needs. So I'm going to say this also so that people that didn't hear what I just said can hear it in a different way, the same thing. Also understanding that the other person in my relationship's needs are just as important as mine. Understanding my feelings, understanding how to express my feelings, and understanding that if people don't want to hear me out about my feelings and how I feel, maybe those people are not for me. And when I say maybe, they're absolutely not for me. And so I make decisions so that, those types of people are not in my life. Being less defensive when people tell me negative things about me or give me negative feedback that is constructive. Now, if you just came up and told me some ridiculous, crazy stuff and we're talking out of the side of your mouth and just being insulting, then you're about to get roasted. But otherwise, I can take the constructive criticism, take that, learn from it, grow, and make changes. So the rundown again, very quickly, because it's 8 things. The 8 signs that I knew I was healing my dismissive avoidant attachment style are: number 1, improved communication skills. 2, flexibility in relationships. 3, consistency in my actions and words. 4, increased awareness and regulations of my emotions. Number 5, openness to feedback and growth. Greater accountability for my actions. Number 6. Number 7, actively being involved in conflict resolution. And number 8, last but not least, developing a secure self-identity. So family, especially those of you dismissive avoidants out there, tap in, let me know what resonated for you. Like, share, subscribe, find me on Instagram, check out my community tab, check out the playlist. Again, subscribe and join the family. And family, I will be tapping in with you very soon. Thank you so much for watching, and keep it real.